everyone, today I'm doing a sort of a Q&A for first-time masqueraders, so people playing Carnival in costume for the first time. Of course, Toronto Carnival is just around the corner, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a video to talk about some of the questions that people have been asking me on social media. So don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. If you like this, like it, and as always, share with your friends as well if you think somebody will like this. All right, here we go. Hey everyone! So, if you read my blog, NnekaElliott.com, you'll know that I love everything Carnival. I grew up in a household, and mostly because of my dad. He's a costume designer, he makes costumes as well. And he's been doing that for a long time. So not only am I from the Caribbean, but also actually from a family where, you know, Carnival is a huge deal. So it's always been a big part of me. I've got silk in my blood, silk in my veins. I've been playing mass since I was, I think, maybe 2 years old, on the shoulders of my dad, and then played in St. Vincent for the most part, and then also in Toronto. I've played every year for quite some time. And when I did a video recently with my friend slash distant cousin, Joella Crichton, and reigning queen of the bands in Toronto, a lot of people were asking after the fact, you guys should do more of these videos, we need to do more. There's so many people who are playing for the first time, who I am playing with for the first time as well, who have been asking me questions. And I thought, you know what, let me just do a little bit of a video and answer some questions. I wish Joella could have done this as well here, but this is crunch time for her, as the festivities for Queen of the Bands and so forth are coming up quite soon. Okay, so let's get started. Question 1. A lot of people ask me, what can I bring with me on the parade route? So typically, I don't like to have anything in my hand or on me, really. If I could, I would bring nothing. But you know, you want to capture a little something on your phone for emergencies. Although keep in mind, if you're down there for the first time, because there's so many people, literally millions of people in such a concentrated area down in exhibition place, cell phone coverage is very spotty. So something to keep in mind in the first place. But I always bring my cell phone with me, and the easiest thing for me to do and what's worked for me is to get a cell phone case that matches your phone. Something like this that, you know, you could just put your phone in here, maybe a little lipstick if you want to top up, and of course some money. The other option, sometimes I would even just put my money in my shoe. That's what I would do often, because your costume is so tiny. You don't really want to put too much and boggle yourself down. A lot of people, is boggle a word? But you know what I mean. A lot of people wear something around your waist as well, so you can wear like a little bit of a pouch. But just for me personally, I don't want anything that's gonna hide the belt of my costume, and also anything that's gonna push in my stomach and create more rolls than I already have. So I typically like to just get something like this. This one is matching my costume this year because I think it's a little bit red, but it's red and yellow and goldish color, bronze. And then I literally just do that. I literally just keep it here attached to me, and I'm fine with it. I've managed with this fine. But it's up to you. It's a personal choice, but this is what works best for me. I got this particular one at H&M. They have a lot of these, but any of your Ardennes, Claire's, those kind of stores where young tweens go to get earrings and so forth, you can check that out. But just something to keep in mind. And this has always been good for me because it's easy to get something that matches your costume. All right, I get questions also about hosiery and how to kind of make that work with your existing costume. This is not necessarily a DIY video. We did that on the episode of Nneka featuring my friend Joella, as I mentioned. But this is just to give you an idea of what I'm going to be wearing. So this is actually my first year that I'm going to be sporting the fishnet stockings. So these are the fishnet stockings that I have. I got them from Mickles. They were selling them at Saldina's Mass Camp, which is the section that I'm going to be in, the band, I should say. My section is Maplelicious, which is Dr. J and Mayanna's section. So this is the color salmon. It's one size fits all. And it has basically this fishnet, but it also has little shimmers in it. So it looks really, really good on the skin, and it almost creates a bit of an optical illusion. At first when I got it, I thought it wasn't gonna be enough to kind of cover up, because I don't know, I just don't like being like fully exposed. And this is really cool. I tried it on, I liked it. The problem is though, it goes all the way up to like underneath your bra line. It's very, very high in terms of the waist. And that is a trend, as you may have seen as well in my other video with Azalea. We talked about this trend of wearing your fishnet stockings above the panty line for your bottom if you are wearing a two-piece, and this is specifically for people who are wearing two pieces. But if you don't want to have that look, that above the lace, above the bikini line look, I cut mine. And then I use double-sided tape, something like this one, and I literally put the tape on my skin and then put this on, you know, stick it on to the top of this fishnet stocking. I think what I'm going to do though is reattach the waistline that I cut off. So I'll cut it off, reattach the waistline lower, and then stick it on with this double-sided tape. And that's just what works best for me. I don't like, as I said, I like to keep it seamless and flat around my tummy, because you want to create that illusion that you don't have anything going on there. So I prefer to do that. And also our costume has a higher, it goes above your a little bit of a string goes above your hip waistline there. I'll show you in this picture just to give you an idea. And so I really just want that look. Another handy thing to have, of course, is a glue gun. I tried it in the past as well, where I actually glued my bikini bottom to the stocking. But that's something you have to do when you have it on already. It gets a bit tricky if you're not used to using a glue gun, but this is something to have, definitely. So I am wearing the lace, I keep saying a lace front. That would be interesting. I'm wearing the fishnet stocking this year, but in the past, I've just worn, honestly, the Secret Collection Cocoa in C. It's ultra sheer, and it has the sheer to waist foot, sandal foot, so it doesn't have that awkward, oh my God, please don't do that. Please don't wear the stocking where you can see the line just like, you know, as right below your bum. If you're gonna wear stocking, do something like this. And I found this works so well, and I'll show you pictures of me wearing it. It's my favorite one to wear. I do the same thing as well though, where I cut the waistline, because it's also tricky. So you know what your color is, but if you're anything close to me, I always get backup stockings, because if you put it on the day of and then it splits, what are you gonna do? So this is always my backup, just in case something goes wrong with the other one. But this is the color that I use. I know it looks dark, but on me it works so well, and people always ask me if I'm actually wearing any stockings at all, but I like this, and this is the picture just to show you. So that's just a backup something, if you wanted to wear that. A lot of people used to wear these ones. This is the sort of body wrappers ultimate shimmer. This is what you would get from like a dance store. A lot of dancers would use this. And this is much thicker, and it's much more high intense in terms of the sheen. You can't really tell so well, but it's very much of a high sheen. So if you want some more, you want it to be a little bit more suction, you do that. Some people will wear this underneath the fishnet. I've seen people double up the fishnets, triple up the fishnets. It's all up to you. I'm wearing this alone, my friends, this time. So that's something for you to keep in mind. But the thicker ones, it's gonna be a little bit hot for you. And also, if you're sweating in the nether regions and you don't have a costume that's gonna be covering your front area, because you know sometimes if you're sweating in your bikini line area, it's gonna show on that thicker stocking, the one that I showed you last. So something to keep in mind if you don't have things dangling in the front there. The other thing you have to remember with stockings and the things that dangle is they're gonna catch. They're gonna catch on your stocking. So just be mindful of that. That's another good thing about the fishnet, because there's not enough surface for those little things dangling down to catch on. You might want to even put what you call it, the glue gun. You could put a little thin layer of glue on the edge of your beads that hang down, just so that it's not going to cut, just so not if the edge is not blunt. Or you can use a nail file or something just to smooth the ends of the things that dangle down, because it's going to catch on your stocking. And that is the worst thing for me, when you just start and there's a bloody hole in your stocking. I'm not feeling that at all. So just a few other things there to keep in mind in regard to hosiery. The next question, to wear makeup or not to wear makeup. And me personally, I don't like wearing makeup, a huge amount of makeup on parade day. It's just a personal preference, but lately, everybody takes all these pictures on Instagram, and you want to have that first picture where you're looking hot and you have all the gemstones and your long lashes and so forth. And that is so much up to you. If you are like me though, and you're planning to fet and sweat down the place when you go, then I just don't like sweaty, runny makeup. And if I want to do this, it's going to come off. It's just not my vibe. I will do concealer, maybe some blush, that kind of stuff, and lipstick. But my thing, what I like, and if you're like me, you want to still have a little something exciting going on, you could always do those stick-on gemstones, and Joella talks about it in that video up here. I'm going to point you to it. But I do sunglasses. You know, something like this that would match your costume, for example, and then I just wear that the whole time. It also protects my running potential mascara, or however I might look, and it's just easier for me to wear sunglasses. And so it might be a cool idea to do that. Some people don't put gemstones on the front of the sunglasses. You can get those stick-on ones just to add a little jazz, or you can use your glue gun and maybe put a chain, hang a chain on the side here with loops. There's so many different things you could do now with your sunglasses, and you don't have to worry about doing a whole bunch of makeup. I know that's a big part of it for some people, but if you're like me and you just want another option, sunglasses are a good option for you. I wanted to touch quickly on what you're gonna do for your shoes, because that's another big thing for me. I like to match my sunglasses and my shoes. Here's what I wore in the past, or last year at least. So I literally go and buy shoes that match the costume. I know Joella, in that video we talked about, mention you can spray your shoes the color of your costume. That's an option for you. I just don't necessarily want to do that, but it certainly is an option that I have considered in the past. But be mindful of the fact that if you are wearing the fishnet stockings that like I am, you don't have a whole lot of toe coverage. So your toenail might go through the fishnet a little bit, and you could cause some friction, some rubbing. And I have had toe issues in the past where I've lost a toe in one case, or you get like a jam, like a black toe essentially. And that could be a problem if your shoes are too tight. So you want to make sure it's not too tight or not too big. And you might, if you're wearing the fishnet, probably want to put one of those little those short sock ones that just cover your toe and your heel. That's another great option. Just at least you have some protection if you are in fact wearing the fishnet option. All right, so if you are going to the parade in Toronto this year, the parade starts earlier. It starts 8:30 actually for the actual start of the parade. The guest bands go first, and then the costume bands start going at 9:30. My band, Saldina, is band number 4, so it goes Durham Mass, and then Toronto Revelers, Carnival Nation, Saldina, and then there are 11 bands total. I know that Venom is last. They're looking awesome, by the way, as well. So you can find a lot more information through Toronto Caribbean Carnival online, their website. I'll put it here as well. But just be mindful of that. If you're not in costume, if you have friends who are going to be showing up not in costume, just, remind them about the fact that everybody's there to have a good time, and this is a big part of our culture. We want to be able to celebrate and show off our culture, and we want everything to be safe and happy. The route is different this year, so there's actually a section called the Spectrum area where the judging happens, and there are certain areas and certain things that they're doing this year to prevent people who are not in costume from quote-unquote storming, because that's been an issue in the past. It's a very political issue. Some people feel like you should be able to come and jump with the masqueraders. Others feel like you should not be disturbed if you've paid for a costume and so forth. So the folks at Toronto Carnival are really trying this year to figure out how to eliminate gaps in the parade, and also to deal with some of the issues with stormers, as they're called, from coming in. I understand that there's actually a free blocko that's going to be happening on the lakeshore between the British Columbia and Jameson Avenue at some point. So you can find more information, as I mentioned, on the Toronto Caribbean Carnival website. But have a great time. Keep hydrated. I'm gonna start drinking water from a couple days before, because I personally don't drink water, a lot of water on the parade route. That's because I don't want to use the bathroom. So that's a big thing with me. But stay hydrated a couple days before, so you're not gonna be completely dehydrated on the route. There will be water in your band, so look out for that. And just be careful out there and have a good time. You will be amazed at just how awesome you're gonna feel. You're gonna forget about what your body looks like. You're gonna just feel a sense of community, being surrounded by people who share in this culture. And you're also gonna feel a sense of just, self-awareness. You're gonna love the way you feel. So it's a really cool feeling. If it's the first time you're doing this, it's not gonna be your last. Have a great time. If you see me on the road, shout me out. Say hi, give me a wine, whatever, but it will be great to see you. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, please subscribe if you haven't, share it and like it as well. Thank you.